What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. We've got game week 35 on So Rare. Time for a little value hunting. As always, if you're brand new to the So Rare space and you haven't signed up yet, go ahead, click our link. It'll get you the best deal possible to get going. But let's dive into this week on So Rare. As always, we're going to be using our friends over at Momentum Labs to get some of our sweet projections as we break down the slate. Let's first go over to So Rare and see what's cooking over there for this game week. So I know we have the limited all offense. They're still running that back again. So we can take a look. Same prize structure as well with the gift cards and all that stuff, as well as some of the cards. And then before we do that, let's actually see how we're doing this current game week. We're 7 points away here for the closest reward in our limited contender. Excuse me, limited champ just 6 points away from a closest reward, 16 from the limited contender, rare contenders close as well, rare champ not as close, but still a pretty big slate today on Sunday. But we're not talking about Sunday. We're talking about this upcoming game week. So let's get started. We'll move on over to the market. And the first guy we're going to start with is new Memphis Grizzly, former Phoenix Sun, former Brooklyn Net, former Washington Wizard, I think. Maybe he wasn't on the Nets now that I say that. That's Michael Jordan. No, it's Jordan Goodwin. It's not Jordan Poole or Clarkson. It's Jordan Goodwin, who is now a part of the Memphis Grizzlies. And you can actually see here his limited card year 2 is going for $4, excuse me, rare for $19. And I'm curious about Goodwin because a lot of people bringing him up in the most recent Live Before Lock. If you guys tuned into that show, a lot of people bringing up Jordan Goodwin. And I was like, I'm honestly not sure if he's going to play yet. We're going to have to pay attention to it. And when you look at their most recent games, right? So Goodwin got 2 DNPs. However, they did like ink a deal with him. They got rid of Jacob Gilyard. So they don't have a ton of guards right now in Memphis. And this is a shaky projection in the sense that we haven't seen it yet. Although I do think the Grizzlies play today. I'll verify that right now because if they do play today, we'll at least have a little bit more information before we head into game week 35. Let me just quickly scan to see if Memphis plays today. I am a liar. They do not play, so we have no information. But Goodwin here, cap at 9, projects for just over 28 fantasy points. There's definitely going to be some risk involved because we haven't seen it yet. But with the difference between this game week and last game week is they just straight up got rid of Gilyard. And Gilyard was playing some minutes for him. So we'll have to pay attention to Scottie Pippen's injury as well, the junior, not the one who's on tour right now with Luke Longley and Horace Grant. But yeah, definitely some risk involved with this. They've got 2 games. It's not a back-to-back. I'm here for it. I mean, if you have a guy in a single digit cap with 9 who's projecting close to 30 fantasy points, you got to let it rip. We get some of the same names here in Tyrese Halliburton and Trey Mann. Hallie's got a cap of 37, projects for almost 55 fantasy points, and Trey Mann is cap 16 still, and he projects for over 33. But we've talked about them almost every game week, so I don't think we need to look him up. But let's go to Utah again, and let's take a peek at Taylor Hendricks as I'm going to mute quickly to call. But I'm not editing that because I don't have time. So Taylor Hendricks, the rookie for the Utah Jazz, he's got a cap of 10, and he projects for north of 24 fantasy points. So I watched a little bit of their most recent game, and he is now into the starting lineup. I think the Jazz, like the top 10 in the West, are pretty much solidified here. The Jazz aren't making the playoffs. The Rockets aren't making the playoffs. The 9-10 seeds are going to be the Warriors and the Lakers, right? So Utah's also traded away Kelly Olynyk to Toronto. They've kind of made it clear, like, hey, listen, we had fun. Now we're going to focus on the draft. And we're already seeing it. Like, Keontae George is basically playing more minutes than Colin Sexton right now. Hendricks moved into the starting lineup. And like, he's not really this offensive stud, but I mean, he's solid, right? And then one game he's had so far against Charlotte, put up 25 So Rare points, played 26 minutes, I believe, in the starting rotation. They get the Spurs tonight. So if you're not sold on Hendricks yet, you can look back at it tonight after the action. But I'm a big fan of Hendricks. I've been following him a lot for the last couple of weeks, and was excited to see him moving in the starting lineup and see what we get from Utah. Next up, I just want to, a lot of people are going to look at projections, and you're going to see Jamal Murray popping. You guys know I'm a Nugget fan. I'm a Jamal Murray fan. They have 2 games this game week. It is a back-to-back, though, and he's going to cap at 36 with a projection of 50. I read a piece on The Athletic this week, over the weekend, actually, that Mike Malone. So Jamal Murray missed one of the games this game week. And Michael Malone said that they were managing an injury. So not really like rest so he gets better. And then he was pressed on it a little bit. And Jamal Murray's dealing with shin splints. I don't know the scientific term for shin splints, but dealing with shin splints. And they're basically like, yeah, that's only going to get better with an extended period of rest. But he's not going to get that rest. So Jamal Murray is going to be playing through pain. I still think Murray can absolutely crush for that. But seeing that they only have 2 games this game week, and it is a back-to-back, and I know the projections are going to be like, holy crap, Jamal Murray, I really only think you're getting 1 game. That might be a little speculative, but I really only think you're going to be getting 1 game out of Jamal Murray. So even though, I don't know, maybe that's not the opposite of value hunting, what we do on the show, but I saw he was popping and just had a little bit of concern. But you can see here, he's got prices of like 21, 255, and 12.99. Good Lord. But that is for Jamal Murray, another guy who's going to pop in the projections. Darius Garland, who was a solid play last game week, continues to be a solid play this game week. He has a cap of 23 and a projection of 37.5. The one thing I would say about Darius Garland is that he really popped price-wise this past weekend because our guy Donovan Mitchell missed a couple of games. Donovan Mitchell should be back tonight, so I wouldn't I wouldn't count on that happening again, right? You can see his rare year 1 card is $75. His common year 2 card is $26.50. Again, though, he projects for a great play. Cap of 23 projects for over 37 points, but probably already priced appropriately. So again, if you have him, play him. I want to go out and buy him. And honestly, if you're like, I don't know if I need Darius Garland in my lineup this week, now would probably be the time to move off of him. But as we always say on this show, none of it's financial advice. You know what I mean? So where's that drop? We're going to find the financial advice drop and you're going to get it. None of this is financial advice. Do what you love what you do. Something like that, right? God, that was such a young Mike when that video was taken. Let's do a couple more. Keegan Murray, we talked about last week. He's been playing pretty poorly. So the good news is his cap's going to continue to come down. They have 2 games this game week. It is a back-to-back. He's got a cap of 22, a projection of 33. I believe he's going to probably be priced appropriately as well as we go take a look at that. Let's go look at our boy Kegels. Keegan Murray here, $12. Oh, my God. His year rare 2 is 259. What is his? That's because there's only 1 on the market. That's hilarious. But yeah, Keegan continues to project well, but continues to play poorly. So do with that as you will. Duncan Robinson. I feel like this is the first time we've talked about our guy, Duncan Robinson. He has a cap of 18, I believe it is, right? Let me double check that. Cap of 18, projects for almost 30 fantasy points. There you go. You can go buy his Christmas card for $100 right there. But his year 2 limited is 578. Year 2 rare Christmas is 108. And yeah, Duncan Robinson, they've got 3 games this game week. One of those is on a back-to-back. Jimmy Butler, plays like 1 every 3 games. Oh, there's also one other thing we have to pay attention to with Miami. I don't think the league has come down with a ruling on it yet, but on Friday night, the Heat were playing the Pelicans, and I'm sure you saw the scuffle, right? Jimmy Butler instigates with Najee Marshall. Najee Marshall tries to choke him out, and then the little person, Jose Alvarado, starts a fight with Thomas Bryant. But the thing that hasn't been covered that much yet is that all of these Miami guys left the bench. I believe it was like Bam Adebayo. I can't remember if it was Nikola Jovic, and there was a third guy that I'm blanking on. We will have this news most likely by Live Before Lock, which shameless plug. That's tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Eastern right here on this channel where we do it live. But if all those guys get ruled out, you're like, especially Bam Adebayo. I don't know what's going to happen with Thomas Bryant, but they're going to be super, super thin. So any sort of Miami value guy, like your Caleb Martins of the world. And again, I can't remember who the third person was that was involved in the skirmish here, but they have that weird rule in the NBA where if a player leaves the bench, like wasn't in the game, leaves the bench onto the floor for an altercation, it's like an auto suspension. So Miami might be super, super shorthanded. So that's something to pay attention to. Like, because Bam Adebayo is another one. He's got a cap of 37 with a projection of 48 with these 3 games this game week. We got to see what the ruling is from Secaucus, New Jersey. But anyways, there you go. There's your Miami, your Heat culture minute. A couple more guys here. Dame's cap continues to sit in that 36 range. He projects for over 47. And then Evan Mobley, man, has been playing really good basketball here. Cap at 34, projection of 45 here. Let's pull up Mobes. Let's pull up the mobs. Evan Mobley, you can see his price range here. It's not nothing crazy, right? But like, let's look at his most recent performance. Again, putting in perspective that he's got a cap at 34. So it's all right, 37, 34, 30. Well, let's start here so it sounds better. 49, 48, 37, 34, 33, 49, 30, 43, and 15. I don't know. Interesting stuff. Something to pay attention to. That kind of does it for the ones that are like screaming value. It's funny. It feels like as high scoring as this current game week that we're in right now that finishes up today. This upcoming game week feels like it's going to be a bit more challenging. But anyways, as always, let me know in the chat who you are firing out there this upcoming game week. If this is your first time tuning in, make sure you hit the subscribe. And if you want these alpha plays earlier, sign up for the VIP because you're seeing this now. The VIPs already had this information a few hours ago. So sign up for the VIPs. We also do a live after dark show after our after lock show. That is a tongue twister where we give away another rare tier card. So go check it out. But as always, appreciate everybody tuning in, watching. Hope to see you tomorrow for Live Before Lock. Best of luck this upcoming game week. We are out.